History is selective. What history books tell us about the past is not everything that happened, but what historians have selected. They cannot put in everything. Choices have to be made. Choices must similarly be made about which aspects of the past should be formally taught to the next generation in the shape of school history lessons.
Homer was a Greek epic poet. Both the date and the place of his birth and death are not known precisely, but recent research suggests a date between 1050 and 800 BC. It has even been claimed that no such man as Homer existed and that the Iliad and the Odyssey are collections of traditional ballads and not the work of one man.
How can you choose the perfect stone for skimming? International researchers used computer simulations to assess how an object's weight and shape determine its skimming success. One insight for heavier stones was that a curvier bottom helps achieve a successful skim.
How quickly is the world's population growing? In the United States and other developed countries, the current growth rate is very low. In most developing countries, the human population is growing at a rate of nearly 3 people per second. Because of this bustling growth rate, the human population is well on its way to reaching 9 billion within lifetime.
Humans continue to evolve, say Greek and Irish scientists, who tracked changes in recently discovered genes and identified 155 which have spontaneously arisen from tiny sections of our DNA since we split from our closest animal relatives, chimpanzees.
If you've had a concussion and are one of the 15 to 30% of people experiencing lingering symptoms, you might be more likely to experience symptoms of depression, according to international researchers.
Improved balancing ability is closely associated with enhanced functional independence measurement scores at acute rehabilitation stages and at later life stages in older adults. However, maintaining balance by controlling body posture is a complex process in which multiple subsystems and environmental factors interact to prevent one from falling. In a new study of childhood mortality rates between 1961 and 2010 in the United States and 19 economically similar countries, researchers report that while there's been overall improvement among all the countries, the U.S. has been slowest to improve. Infants in the U.S. were 76% more likely to die.
In bringing up children, every parent, regardless of ethnicity, income, education, or geographic location, watches eagerly the child's acquisition of each new skill.
However, it is often tempting to hurry the child beyond his natural learning rate, which can set up dangerous feelings of failure and states of worry in the child. This might happen at any stage.
In comparing material with non-material culture, the first being the objects and technologies we create, and the second our customs, beliefs and attitudes, the speaker gives greater emphasis to the material culture. He gives the example of the development of genetic science and the benefits it has brought to mankind, despite a fair amount of opposition. In every cultivated language there are two great classes of words which, taken together, comprise the whole vocabulary. First, there are those words with which we become acquainted in daily conversation, which we learn from the members of our own family and from our familiar associates, and which we should know and use even if we could not read or write.
In order to increase the efficiency of agricultural production, in particular for crop production sector, it is necessary to enhance the self-sufficiency level in seed production through the implementation of a number of activities such as surface reclamation of the available agricultural land plots, water supply, particularly via drip and underground irrigation, fertilization with organic and mineral fertilizers, and growth stimulants produced through innovative technologies.
In the 1920s, new technology allowed filmmakers to attach to each film a soundtrack of speech, music and sound effects synchronized with the action on the screen. These sound films were initially distinguished by calling them talking pictures, or talkies. The next major step in the development of cinema was the introduction of color.
In the context of the era of economic globalization, the economic exchanges between countries and regions are becoming more and close. As an important way of importing and exporting, the special status and value of free trade port trade are increasingly reflected.
In the development of infrastructures and food market formation, it is very such as juice, beverage, canning, dry fruit industry and too important to ensure a mutually beneficial and uninterrupted relations between producers and processors. It is necessary to increase the production output of the traditional processing branches, organize the sale of those products in the foreign market.
In the fast-changing world of modern healthcare, the job of a doctor is more and more like the job of a chief executive. The people who run hospitals and physicians' practices don't just need to know medicine. They must also be able to balance budgets, motivate a large and diverse staff and make difficult marketing and legal decisions.
In the middle of Rome's trendiest neighborhood,
Surrounded by sushi restaurants and nightclubs with names like Rodeo Steakhouse and Love Story, sits the ancient world's biggest garbage dump. A 150-foot tall mountain of discarded Roman amphoras. The shipping drums of the ancient world. It takes about 20 minutes to walk around Monte Testaccio, from the Latin testa and Italian coxi, both meaning potsherd.
In the past, wars have led to inflation and higher commodity prices. Fighting disrupts trade and prevents raw materials from being shipped from one country to another. In Second World War Britain, a banana was the highest of luxury.
In this, bigger is better, climate, calisthenics was relegated to groups perceived to be vulnerable, such as women, people recuperating from injuries and school students.
Initial public offerings were also ways to compensate employees and founders who owned lots of stock. But there are now novel mechanisms, such as selling shares on a secondary market, for insiders to cash in on some of their shares in private companies. Still, some observers cautioned that the new trend may be a bad deal for employees who aren't given much information about the company's performance.